They want custody back.
I admitted to my wrongdoing and it was used against me.
You say that you think CPS is full of a bunch of narcissists.
I do.
Your son had a brain bleed.
We had fallen down the stairs. I tried to protect my son from the fall.
Was your daughter injured in your care?
Yes.
And how'd that happen?
I don't know.
What am I missing here? Where's the conspiracy here?
And that's not all.
You say, I slapped him, he choked me, there was a knife involved, he threw a bowling ball through my windshield, decided to kill himself, but I've not heard you ask one time, what can I do to get my children back? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready to take care of you. You know, lots of us scroll through TikTok for funny videos or maybe make some ourselves. But with millions of people documenting their lives for the world to see, not every moment is a happy one. Meet Jessica. She's been posting videos for almost 2 years about losing custody of her 2 children to CPS, as well as videos about her volatile relationship with their father, Ian. Now, Ian's mom, Pamela, and younger brother, Jeremy, say having Jessica and Ian's dirty laundry broadcast to the world isn't helping, and they need to shape up or break up. But Jessica and Ian say they have complied with every request and deserve their children back because they are not the issue. They say the problem is CPS. Take a look.
CPS became involved with our situation in February of 2019. Ian had our daughter, and he was also watching his son, who is 6 months younger than our daughter. While Ian was carrying both the children down the stairs, they fell, and his son suffered from brain hemorrhages.
I was going downstairs to take a shower, and I slipped on the carpet. And to save my son, I grabbed him, and he hit my collarbone. But it was purely an accident.
He ended up going to the hospital.
I get there, CPS is already there. They think that I abused my son.
CPS was getting ready to close the case in May of 2020 when an incident happened with our daughter. One day, I let Ian have both of our children for the day. We picked them up that night, and they were both fine. And then the next morning, I noticed she had a black eye forming, and her nose had a cut on it. I do not know what happened. Somebody alerted CPS that was alleged that I hurt her. I thought maybe it was Ian. I don't know. I was asked to take my kids to the emergency room to get full body x-rays. And then the next day, CPS showed up at my mom's house and they told me we're drug testing you for LSD. However, my drug test came back clean.
I feel guilty because I knowingly gave my 2 kids back to Jess while she was high on LSD.
I was not high or intoxicated when I went to sleep that night. I admitted to my wrongdoing and it was used against me.
And then the next day, they took the kids into foster care, and they've been in foster care since that day.
I felt like I wanted to die. Like my whole world was ripped away from me. It's been 1.5 years since I lost my kids. We are in my kids' room. It's hard living without them, period. I feel like I'm living in a world that's not my own because I'm without my family.
We have jumped through every hoop. They don't care if we get our kids back. I believe I should have my kids back 100%. I'm not the monster that they say I am.
I would do anything to get them back.
Now, you say that you think CPS is full of a bunch of narcissists.
I do. It's the gaslighting, mostly.
And define that.
They're constantly using my weaknesses against me. My emotions get the best of me. And I feel like they constantly pick at me to get a reaction out of me so that they can turn around and say, look at how crazy she is. Her kids are not safe with her.
Okay, so you think they undermine you and try to get you to melt down
Yes.
by causing you to doubt yourself?
Yes, they do it to both of us.
What's their motive? Why would they be picking on you?
I honestly don't know. I mean,
They've been under a lot of hot water in the last few years.
So maybe they're being cautious, overcautious.
They're being way overcautious.
Okay, do you think she's alienated them with these TikTok videos?
I think she's giving them ammo.
Do you think that's antagonized them?
It could be. I advocate for the use of medical marijuana for mental health reasons. That's why I started doing it. And then once I started feeling like,
Okay, but
I guess, feeling gaslighted by CPS, I wanted to have the proof of my progress, I guess.
okay, but my point is, commonsensically, do you think it's smart to publicly criticize the people that have the power over?
Probably
your
not.
children?
Probably not. But at this point, I have done, what they've asked of me. I've proven myself to them, and it hasn't been enough. So I don't know what else to do other than just tell my side of the story and be honest.
Okay, was your daughter injured in your care?
Yes.
And how'd that happen?
I don't know.
Let's stop right there.
Okay.
I'm trained as a forensic psychologist. And one of the many things that forensic psychologists do is determination of what's in the best interest of a child. Now, I just ask you, did you have a child that was injured in your care on your watch? You said yes. Said, how did it happen? And you said, I don't know. And let me tell you what I hear from a forensic psychological standpoint is it's your job to know.
You're right.
So what do you mean you don't know?
She was injured sometime during the night when she was in her room, supposed to be sleeping. I told, CPS, I was like, her room was absolutely atrocious. That was my first problem, was that I didn't keep her room clean enough because they're kids, once you clean it up, it's a mess again. So I told them, that was my first mistake, was that her room was absolutely way too messy. She probably got, she could have got out of bed and fell over something. It was in the middle of the night. I did not hear her. I know exactly how it looks. I beat myself up about it every day.
Your son got injured on your watch.
Yes.
In fact, had a brain bleed.
Yes.
And how did that happen?
We had fallen down the stairs. I had both my babies at the time.
You were holding them both in your arms going down the stairs.
One in each arm. We fell down 4 or 5 steps onto the concrete. And he never hit the concrete. He never got out of my grasp. So I probably did accidentally hurt him when I grabbed him, but I didn't let him hit the concrete. And they are saying that I shook him. I put my hands around him and shook him.
Did you shake your child?
I did not shake my child.
Have you ever shaken your child?
I've never shaken any of my children. I would never harm any of them.
Have you seen that child's now 3?
The child's now 3, yes.
Have you seen that child?
I haven't seen him since that night.
Why not?
CPS won't allow me to.
They wanted me to keep our daughter away from him as well. So if they had it their way, he would not have even been able to see her.
Well, in fact, they told you that they considered him to be a danger and you should keep your daughter away from him. And you told them, no, he's not a danger and you're not going to keep your daughter away from him.
Yes, they asked me to keep him away from our daughter, and I said no, because that was not fair to her, because he wouldn't hurt her.
Okay. But from their perspective, they gave you a directive, you defied it and failed to comply.
Yes.
So, okay. All right, coming up, is suspected child abuse the only abuse in Ian and Jessica's lives? Now, the answer might surprise you. We'll talk about that next.
I do remember her coming out, slapping me as hard as she can, which triggered me. In response, I reached out and I grabbed her neck with both hands, strangling her.
And later, if there's blame to be assigned here, you think it's Jessica
Yes.
I'm not the only one that picks and picks and picks. You need to look at what your son does too. Open your eyes. Ian has anger issues. He flies off the handle really easily. Holes in the walls, objects being broken, destroyed. He yells at me when he's already reached that point of no return. Sometimes I've been afraid of him.
CPS does know about my anger. They have used it against me. That could be a reason they haven't given our children back. I will protect my kids to the fullest. I will go to prison over my kids. I don't care who you are. I owe them my life, and I will give it to them.
Ian and Jessica have been in an on-again, off-again relationship really for the last 6 years that has involved yelling, screaming, crying, broken furniture, and even domestic violence. They say they've shown CPS there has been no violence in their relationship for quite some time, certainly recently. But how bad has it been?
Jessica has seen my anger. I have harmed her.
One day, I was getting ready to take a nap with the kids, and he comes storming into my bedroom and throws his phone at me and then leaves. So I was going through his phone. There was a message from a female, and it was a naked picture. I went out to the living room. I showed the phone to him. I was livid. I was seeing red at this point. I slapped him across the face, and I said, "Get out of my house before I call the cops." And so he immediately went in for the chokehold.
I do remember her coming out, slapping me as hard as she can, which triggered me. In response, I reached out and I grabbed her neck with both hands, strangling her.
What I remember is looking at him in his eyes and just trying to, I guess telepathically, try to get to him and say, "You don't want to do this."
When I did let her go, I stormed out with a knife into the garage. There was a bowling ball. I threw it through her SUV front window. I stormed off saying that she was to call the cops. I'm gonna have them shoot me. Suicide by cop.
I called the cops on him. He ended up getting arrested and was eventually charged with criminal menacing. Whatever mental health issues he has going on in his head, I would absolutely compare it to a demon. It turns him into this person I do not recognize.
You come out and slap him.
I did.
You say you're triggered, so you start choking her. There's a knife involved. A bowling ball goes through the windshield of the car. You decide suicide by cop. From where I'm sitting, if I'm saying, what do I do with these children? What am I missing here? Where's the conspiracy here? What is it you don't understand?
I guess my thing is that was 2 years ago. We got back together last year, and ever since then we've been communicating a lot better, in my opinion. He's more receptive to my feedback of things. He still flies off the handle sometimes, but he's not.
You said you believe that he's a good guy.
I do.
And that you love him.
I do.
He just has a demon.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a demon, but that's what I would compare it to. It's
That is what you said.
Yeah, I mean, the person that he turns into is not him.
That was your word, not mine.
No,
You said
yeah, I know.
demon. He has a demon inside that possesses him, and it's not him. He changes so much. It's like a demon possesses him.
It's like living with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Okay.
And when that switch flips in his head, he is not the same person that I love.
You say, well, okay, not long ago I slapped him. He choked me. There was a knife involved. He threw a bowling ball through my windshield, decided to kill himself, suicide by cop. It's not really him. I think he's demon possessed. I think you have a real problem with anger.
I agree.
I don't think you shook that child. I think you're telling the truth when you say that didn't happen. So just so you know,
Thank you.
I believe you when you say that. And I think you need somebody to believe you.
It means a lot to me. I know I might be a monster in other ways, but I'm not a monster to any of my kids.
I do not think this man is a monster. Like, it makes me so happy to hear somebody say that they believe him.
Yeah. Well, next, what happened during the last big blow up at Ian's mother, Pamela's house? Well, we're going to meet her and we're going to talk about that when we come back.
I blame Jessica because she started doing drugs. It's not okay for her to be on drugs when she's with the kids. I believe that Jessica does push Ian's buttons, and then once he's there, she just doesn't stop.
Ian's family looks at me as though I am the antagonizer in our relationship, and although I will admit, I know that I have toxic traits. I don't think his family understands his mental health and how bad it really is. His family sees me as a scapegoat and they give Ian a pass.
One person that has seen this drama unfold from the beginning is Ian's mother, Pamela. Now, she has some strong feelings about this situation and who is to blame.
I have only seen my grandchildren a handful of times since they've went into foster care, and that's been 1.5 years. I do not believe the situation with CPS was fair to them at all. It's very heart-wrenching not knowing when you're going to get your kids back. Ian absolutely loves his kids. He would never hurt any of them. His kids love him. I blame Jessica because she started doing drugs. It's not okay for her to be on drugs when she's with the kids. I believe that Ian and Jessica are very toxic together. Jessica constantly nags. I describe it as a chihuahua that just comes at and just doesn't stop until Ian gets mad. I believe that Jessica does push Ian's buttons, and then once he's there, she just doesn't stop. Ian is not stable right now, and I hate to say that about him. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have a place to live. Ian needs his kids back in his life full time so that he can get his life turned around. His mental health has declined since all this has started. I believe the best scenario for these kids is to be back with their parents, even if it's Jessica that gets them back.
Pamela, thank you for joining us.
Hi.
You say if there's blame to be assigned here, you think it's Jessica.
Yes.
You've described her as being like a chihuahua.
Oh, yeah. When she starts, she just don't know when to shut up.
Is like a
I'm
pit bull.
talking right now.
I know you're talking, but they said I can speak up. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous that you say I push his buttons when I try to walk away from the situation and he constantly texts me for attention and texts me and texts me and texts me. So I'm not the only one that picks and picks and picks. You need to look at what your son does too. I'm not the only one that has a problem here. Your son likes to pick at me too. Open your eyes. I have admitted to my wrongdoings.
Are you done? I'd like to talk to Dr. Phil.
Yeah, well, you just like to interrupt everybody, so I guess you may go ahead.
Wow. I forgot what the question was.
You placed the blame on Jessica.
Yes. When they got taken away, she was doing drugs. She even called my daughter one day and asked if she could come help her pick up the kids because she was day tripping.
How many children do you have?
I have 5.
You have 5 children?
Yes,
And how many moms?
4 moms.
Out of the 5, you have custody of how many?
I don't really have custody of any of them. I get to see them.
Okay, so you have 5 children from 4 mothers.
You have rights
and
with 2 of them. That's
You can interrupt her, but
Sorry.
you can't interrupt me.
sorry. No, I didn't mean to be rude, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
he
you're
has
still
his
doing it.
rights.
You're still doing it.
Sorry.
So you have 5 children from 4 moms and custody of none. Well, coming up, no one here on this stage wrote into me. With all of this going on, with these children gone, nobody here wrote in for help. It was actually Ian's younger brother, Jeremy, who wrote in. We're going to meet him next, and I'm going to let you say what you wanted to say. We'll be right back.
Ian has not had a stable home for at least the past 2 years. He's moved in and out of at least 3 places. He already has 3 other baby mothers he has to co-parent with. At this moment, I don't think Ian or Jessica are stable or mature enough to get their kids back.
Ian's younger brother, Jeremy, was actually the one who wrote to me for help, fearing that Jessica and Ian's toxic relationship may keep them from ever getting their children back. Take a look.
I don't feel like Jessica and Ian are very good with each other. They can get on each other's bad side just like that within a second. I do feel as if Ian and Jessica do deserve to lose their kids. Ian and Jessica are good parents, but they're just not good partners with each other. Ian has not had a stable home for at least the past 2 years. He's moved in and out of at least 3 places. Ian's home life isn't the best environment for the kids. He has not held a job for longer than 3 months, as far as I'm aware. He already has 3 other baby mothers he has to co-parent with. Ian has stolen from me and my family multiple times. He's stolen things as little as rolls of pennies, all the way up to a credit card he put in my name. It did ruin my credit. At this moment, I don't think Ian or Jessica are stable or mature enough to get their kids back from the foster system. I think the best outcome is they learn to get it together and learn how to co-parent for their kids that they've wanted for so long.
Jeremy, good to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
You're 20 years old.
Yep.
We got a mother and a father and a grandmother. And you're a 20-year-old kid, and you sat down and composed a very articulate, thoughtful letter.
Thank you.
And you're also very dedicated to your family.
Yeah, I love them.
Well, it's obvious. Why did you write in? Why did you do this?
So I've always seen Ian struggle, and I'm getting to the age where I don't want to fall into his shoes, and feel like I should help him too. I have a better understanding of what I feel like I need to do. So I said, why not try and help my brother?
What do you want for your brother?
I want him to kind of grow up. I know he is grown up. He's older than me. But I just want him to be more responsible.
Right?
And to get his kids back, of course.
I do my best, especially now that I've already started my own mental health healing journey. I try to encourage him as much as I can to get help, because what he's doing right now is not working.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Why are you talking right now? What is your objective? Because one thing I've not heard from you is you've not asked me one time, Dr. Phil, what can I do to get my children back?
I guess because
I've heard you talk, I've heard you criticize, I've heard you preach, I've heard you prattle, but I've not heard you ask one time, what can I do to get in a position where I can get these children back?
Right. And I guess I am in therapy, and we're working through those things. He unfortunately is not in therapy.
You're getting answers from somebody. You don't need any from me.
Not necessarily. I mean, like, I would love to know what you think as well. That's why I'm here.
Okay. Well, maybe you want to know what I think since you're not in therapy.
Yes.
I want to see him get some sort of, I don't know, somebody to help him with.
Why are you talking now?
I don't know, I guess.
She don't know when to stop.
Yeah, just keep going.
I mean, yeah.
Well, do you feel better when you're talking? Is that why you posted 651 TikTok videos? 71 are about your CPS issues and Ian. Mm-hmm. 8 of them were showing the children. 9 of them were crying or just emotional distress, and 295 of them were about smoking marijuana.
Mm-hmm. The relationship I shared with my children's father started to become abusive, emotionally, mentally, and then eventually physically.
I'm a medical marijuana patient. I smoke weed every day to manage my anxiety due to my PTSD. I smoke so that I am just a better person all around. I'm here to advocate for the use of medical marijuana for anxiety, and if all you Karens don't like that, then go off. I called CPS today to ask them about what was going on with my visit, since it was supposed to be yesterday, and yesterday was a holiday. And they told me that they didn't have room this week to accommodate a visit for myself. That made me really upset. All I want to do is spend time with my kids. And I'm infuriated by the narcissistic behaviors this agency is displaying. I am tired of them turning things around and making me look like the bad guy. I am tired of being gaslit by these people. When is it going to be enough? That's all I want to know. When is it going to be enough?
So are Jessica and Ian putting the needs of their children above their own interest? I'm going to answer that question after the break, and I'm going to talk about something that, whether they want to hear it or not, they need to hear, because I may be the one person in their life that can tell them how to get these children back. We'll be right back.
Ian is emotionally unstable. I believe he's capable of killing me. I mean, nobody wants to admit that, but look, he's a lot stronger than I am. He's a lot more intimidating than I am. I have seen his anger at his very worst, and it is scary. I do not think he's a lost cause, but if CPS came to me and said, Jessica, we will give you your kids back, but we cannot give them back to Ian right now. I mean, I would obviously get my kids back.
Well, Ian and Jessica lost custody of their two children to CPS a year and a half ago and say they are in a never-ending fight to get them back. The question is, are you ready to regain custody of your children right now? And I kind of made a list of factors that, from a forensic psychological standpoint, I would look at and consider. You say that CPS is moving the goal line on you and you've done everything that you've been asked to do, and that's just simply not true. You're just telling yourself that because you're frustrated that you don't have your children, which I understand. You're a mother and they've taken your children away. My God, I'd be eating the wallpaper if I were you. I get it. I really do. I feel your pain. I understand. I get it, but you need to quit gaslighting yourself. Let me tell you, bad things happen when they make bad decisions. And I've been involved in this long enough to see those situations happen. And headlines, all you got to do is look at it. Father's Day horror. Man kills himself and daughter in apparent murder-suicide. Dad shot 3-year-old, then himself, when mom got involved because he didn't return per the custody agreement. These things happen all of the time because the children are with parents who aren't ready to have them. They have this conflict. What would your headline look like? CPS ignored allegations of demon-possessed father and acid-dropping mother, and children found what? What would happen? Children would be found hurt. Would that be the way this would finish? Would it be children found dead? Would it be children found neglected? I mean, what would it be? How would this headline finish? There's not one chance in hell they're going to give you those children back if you continue to behave the way you are. If you have a problem with anger, fix it. I don't know what it is you're so angry about, but you need to figure it out. And you need to be asking the question that I said I've not heard from you. What can I do? And if there was somebody that was in control of my children, I don't believe I would be going on the World Wide Web and talking about what people they are. There is a formula and the line doesn't move. There's a formula for what you need to do to get your children back. We're going to take a break, and I'm going to tell you exactly what it is when we come back. there are 10 things that they're going to look at. It's really very straightforward. You need to provide a safe, stable, and secure environment, and you need to be able to show that that's true. You need to maintain a consistent, nurturing relationship with the child. You need to show that you can attend to the daily needs of the child, that you can get them to school, that you have the money to take care of them, that you have the maturity to put the child's needs ahead of your own, that you empathize and meet the child's needs, that you can regulate your impulses and emotions so you don't fly off the handle, that you assist the child in developing and maintaining appropriate relationships, and that you exercise appropriate judgment for their welfare. These are the 10 things that you have to demonstrate to them. You have a problem with anger. If I arrange for you to have an individual therapist that will help you with this, would you avail yourself of that?
Yes, yes, I would.
Because and I don't know what's, this may be a completely biochemical thing with you. It may be neurological, hormonal, psychological. I don't know. 50% of the solution to any problem lies in defining it. Let's figure out what's going on. Maybe this is environmental and it's just you've gotten into bad habits. It may be that there are parts of your limbic system in your brain that have just kind of gone to sleep and need to be reawakened. But there are lots of things that can be done to control these impulses and this anger. Don't know what kind of therapist you have, but I'm glad you have one. And I hope you commit to that and stay with it.
I've been in therapy for almost 3 years.
Well, how they feel about you dropping acid?
She really didn't seem that concerned about it.
Might want to get a second opinion on that one.
I get you.
I'm not in private practice anymore, but if I was and you told me that, I'd tell you you'd lost your damn mind. I'm going to arrange for you to have a therapist with Doctor on Demand.
Okay.
So you can start this right away and lean right into that and really seize this, lean into it. You're going to be amazed what you can do in a short period of time. You're a smart guy. Approach it like you would athletics or something, and you get into this in a fast hurry.
Okay.
If you at home want to have your own Doctor on Demand, which is a company I have a lot of confidence in since my son and I started it years ago, go to Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and download the Doctor on Demand app. Just ahead, she travels all over the country, but her biggest worry is at home. Find out what it is next. Aging parents is a dilemma for many families. My next guest, Carla, can relate. She's a busy executive who travels for work, and she's also caring for her 82-year-old mother who is battling cancer. Now, when she's on the road, Carla says she constantly worries about her mom and would love to find a solution.
Call me if you need me. I'm a phone call away.
Be safe.
Love you. I am the caregiver for my mother. My job in hospitality sales always has me on the go. It's a grueling commute Monday through Thursday. So I'm literally working nonstop. How are you feeling today?
Good, now that I have my applesauce.
My mother's awesome. What's difficult is watching my mother go through chemotherapy. It's tough. What worries me the most is when I'm away for work and my mother is left alone. I feel guilty leaving her.
Maybe we'll go out later.
Sure. My greatest fear for my mom is that she gives up. You know, it's so much life to be lived. My ideal situation would be to have someone come in to care for my mom while I'm away. I just want what's best for my mother and that she's happy.
Well, joining me are Carla and Lakeland Hogan, gerontologist and spokesperson for Home Instead. Now, Carla, clearly you and your mom are very close. So how's she doing, by the way?
Dr. Phil, she's doing as best to be expected, you know, going through chemo for the last few months.
Yeah. And you've been her primary caretaker for how long?
I've been her primary caretaker since 2016 when my father passed. So she came to live with me full time. And it's pretty hard juggling family and work and my own personal business.
Yeah. Well, you do have a lot on your plate, particularly with travel and all. So what are you doing to take care of you?
With all the responsibilities, it's pretty hard to take care of me.
And this is something Robin talks about all the time. You got to find moments every day that are just for you. And it strange as it seems, even if you get up an extra 15 minutes early in the morning to go for a walk, get a massage, and give yourself permission to not feel guilty that you're not with your mom or something,
Yes.
it can just make such a difference in the quality of time that you spend with her. So you've got to give yourself permission to say, it's really a gift to my mom and everybody around me if I take care of me. So can I get you to at least consider some of those things?
Absolutely. I know that those are things that I need to do for myself. It's just, how do I find a way to make it work?
Yeah. Well, fortunately, help is here. I'm not asking you to do that in a vacuum. Lakeland, you must see this a lot as a gerontologist.
I do, Dr. Phil. And like you said, when you're caring for others, it shouldn't prevent you from caring for yourself. And Carla, I really commend you for caring for your mom. You travel a lot, so you probably know just as much as anyone that it's important to secure your own oxygen mask first before assisting others. And so it's really important to kind of have a plan of action in place, but also to seek out resources that can provide help and support to you and your mom.
So what type of resources? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, that's where Home Instead comes in. We provide support in all 50 states, across Canada, and in 12 other countries. Our in-home services support older adults and their caregivers. It includes things like personal care, hospice support, and even specialized Alzheimer's care. Our goal is to help people like you, Carla, to provide a much-deserved break, but also provide peace of mind that your loved one is well cared for.
Do you think you and your mom could benefit from a service like this? Somebody that actually came in and helped in this way?
It would be absolutely amazing to know that when I travel weekly, that there's someone that I can count on to care for my mother when I'm away. It would be life-changing for myself and my family.
Yeah. Well, Lakeland, I understand you have more information for Carla. Is that right?
I do. Yes, Carla, in honor of National Family Caregiver Month, I have a very special gift for you. We will be sending a professionally trained Home Instead caregiver to your home to care for your mom for the next 6 months.
Oh, that is awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, listen, we know how important this is. And look, for anyone that's looking for assistance with an aging parent, it's so important that you have peace of mind. And that's what you get from homeinstead.com. That's why I speak on their behalf. This service can provide a much needed helping hand for you and your loved ones. So really, I hope you go to the website. I hope you look at it, because let me tell you, it can take so much pressure off of you and give loving support inside the home. So please take a look at it. I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to Lakeland Hogan. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
If you would like to join our studio audience, we would love to see you here. It's great to be back in the audience, guys. Thank you guys for being here. Just go to my website, drphil.com, for all the details. Be sure to follow me on all the social media platforms. Don't forget to join our Facebook group, Dr. Phil Fanatics. That's PHAN Fanatics. This page is just for you super fans. Available now on my podcast, Fill in the Blanks, where I'm continuing my dive into toxic personalities in the real world. I'm looking right now at borderline personality disorders. These are those people in your life that are really irritating. You know, they kind of come, they kind of go, they're hot, they're cold, they're unpredictable. You don't want to miss out on that. We're really diving into that. And you have to listen to Robin's podcast, I've Got a Secret, with Emmy Award-winning TV host, chef, and author Daphne Oz. Hear about Daphne's secret to success and how to create a balanced and healthy lifestyle. Check it out on Apple Podcast or wherever you listen. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Lakeland, thank you. Carla, thank you.